You saw the title, I'm not gonna waste too much of your time, but I have two things to say before we start. First off, happy Rocktober, everybody. And second, I'll only be focusing on the major updates. Documenting every minor fix to GTA would take me about as long as it took Rockstar to add anti-cheat. Make sure to comment down below your favorite DLC and why to start discussion, and of course, thank you so much for watching. Heist was the first update to truly transform Grand Theft Auto Online. It released on March 10th, 2015 and added new vehicles, clothing options, and of course, completely original heists. There were 3 minigames added that made each heist mission feel separate from the standard shoot and drive ones that were pretty much the only ones in the game at the time. Drilling through the vault and being cautious not to overheat the drill was one of the minigames. Another one, and my personal favorite, is the hacking one, where you have to navigate through a maze to move on to the next objective, and lastly, the data crack minigame, where you need to line up a bunch of blocks to win. The dialogue from the characters in these missions are also impeccable. The mission design and amazing gameplay was part of what made Grand Theft Auto 5's campaign so memorable, but the actors' performances was what really brought everything to life. And every character that showed up for the heist update, whether they were reoccurring or original, do a great job of playing their role.
Hi there! Yeah, welcome! So glad you could make it. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
There was also quite a bit of cut and lost content from this update, such as the free roam events only available for PS3 and Xbox 360, like diverting the cops for 5 minutes for Lester, destroying a specific vehicle that would be marked on the player's map for Gerald, and there was one more where you had to destroy an aircraft, smuggling people into Los Santos for Trevor. Now that those servers are shut down though, those events are no longer accessible. And as for content that didn't make it into any of the final builds of GTA Online, do you guys remember the Cluckenbell robbery DLC that Rockstar released a bit ago? Well, there were some audio clips discovered from the heist update regarding raiding the Cluckenbell factory and bringing the drugs found inside onto trucks. Those directions were given to the player by an unknown character, who ended up being replaced by Agent 14. That same unknown character gave out a setup mission during the early stages of the Prison Break heist, where the players would steal a riot van. However, in the final version of GTA Online, the van that was originally obtainable from a setup mission is just there when the heist takes place, because God was just on Mute Man's side, I guess. One more thing, is it me or does the cut character kind of sound like Vector from Despicable Me?
Vector! That's me, because I'm committing crimes with both direction and magnitude. Oh yeah!
You going for the riot van? I'll see what I can find. Okay. I got 3 riot control vehicles in operation.
Pretty impressive. What are you looking at? Booyah!
Sending you the coordinates. And drop the riot van at the Bolingbrook Penitentiary parking lot. Out.
Where this update falls on its face, though, is that you need 4 players for every heist, with the exception of the Fleeca one at the very beginning. Finding 4 people to do missions that get pretty repetitive after the 2nd or 3rd time, especially coming on to 9 years after release of the DLC, is nearly impossible. My heart goes out to every poor soul who's still stuck on Prison Break just because nobody will join. These missions are super fun, but because nobody will play them, they're not even accessible if you don't have a group of friends to play with. The missions can also be extremely restricting sometimes, where if one person f***s up, everybody is punished for it. Which can be argued that it encourages communication like a real heist would, which is true. However, in a world where GTA voice chat is only used by 2 people because it's not proximity based, that's a big expectation when playing with randoms. In conclusion, the GTA Online Heist update was a fantastic addition to the barren wasteland of content that GTA Online once was, and because of that, Heist gets an A on the tier list. Rockstar cooked with this one, but it hasn't stood the test of time as well as it should have. Lowriders was released on October 20th of 2015 and was exclusive to the enhanced versions of GTA 5, that being Xbox One, PS4, and PC. There was a multitude of new vehicles introduced, over 100 pieces of clothing, and 2 new weapons, that being the machete and the machine pistol. The update included the first real campaign for GTA Online, with Lamar giving the player gang-related crime missions that intertwined with each other. While it's fun to do odd jobs with friends, it's even more fun to go through a story with them together, and that's exactly what this update did. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is one of the most iconic video games ever made, and because this update was street crime oriented like San Andreas, there were a few references to the classic, like the artwork being a direct recreation of Caesar's portrait, and the San Andreas theme song being a customizable option for Online's vehicle horns. Because the missions are completely free for all players and there's no purchase requirement to unlock a Lamar as a mission contact, it's very easy to find people to do the campaign with, and all the missions are fun enough on their own, so they can all be played played out of order. I've noticed while talking about Grand Theft Auto with other people on the internet that many, including myself, enjoyed Franklin's early game missions the most out of anything else in the entire game. Boosting cars, grounded gunfights, and goofy dialogue was incredibly charming and extremely fun. So the fact that Rockstar pretty much made more of those style missions in GTA Online that could be played with friends was really fun all around.
Wait, one time's all over, so we on the clock, people. That means no procrastination, no vacillation, no bullshit. I don't care if you ADD, ADHD, high as you OCD today or we all did.
Lowriders was a respectable nod to San Andreas and overall a great addition to GTA Online. The only downside, in my opinion, is that the missions could get repetitive at times. But other than that, B tier update. Further Adventures in Finance and Felony was a major update released on the 7th of June 2016. Every 13-year-old has a dream of owning a business, sucking in their cheeks, trading contraband, and driving a damn good vehicle while doing it. And that's basically what this update did. It added the ability to become a CEO of your very own business, which friends can join as well to form a true squad. There were over 200 clothing items added, and a few additions too, like the drum magazine, plus some sports cars for the no-lifers who could afford it. The business side of this update was absolutely incredible and such a positive change for GTA Online. To operate the business, you use the in-game internet to purchase illegal cargo, and then after stocking enough of it in your warehouses, you sell it off to buyers for more than you bought it for. If you buy enough spaces, you can sell a ton of cargo passively while it builds up. Before this update, making money was mission to mission, which was fun, but didn't exactly make you feel like a crime boss, but more like the guy that gets his hands dirty. Further Adventures in Finance and Felony puts you in the Empire business, and it was the foundation of many business updates to come later on. And for that, Further Adventures in Finance and Felony gets an A on the tier list. Can you guys hear the rain? Oh, it's kind of dying down now. Moving on to the Cunning Stunts update, which dropped on July 12th, 2016. This update was massive, possibly the most impactful update for GTA 5 in my opinion. Not so much because it changed the game itself, but completely changed GTA Online's demographic and the internet forever. Prior to Cunning Stunts, GTA Online was all shooting up rival criminals, stealing cars, trading drugs, and robbing banks. The stunt races, however, are colorful competitive racetracks where players compete in a game mode that defies gravity, like Rockstar said. There is no real crime whatsoever, and it basically turns GTA Online into Mario Kart once in the game mode. Because of this fun, colorful, and harmless addition to GTA Online, millions of little kids around the world were finally able to say, "Mom, come on, look, how can it be bad?" And thus, the lobbies became cluttered with children. This update led to the thumbnails of GTA Online content creators being super colorful and eye-catching, which once again garnered the attention of children all around the world, making GTA a huge trending topic once again. In 2015, the enhanced versions came out, but in 2016, when Stunt Races came out, sales for GTA 5 didn't stop because there was so much free promotion everywhere for the game. Today, when watching those TikTok storytime videos, the gameplay footage in the background 5 times out of 10 will be a GTA 5 stunt race, if not Subway Surfers, because it's monetizable, child-friendly, and super entertaining to watch. GTA 5 Stunt Races was an update that impacted a bunch of people outside of the GTA community as well. And for that, Stunt Races deserves an A on the tier list. Rockstar cooked with that one. GTA 4's Lost in the Dam DLC is a super fun Grand Theft Auto campaign and still holds up well today. Managing your motorcycle gang was a great original take on the GTA formula, and with the Bikers DLC for GTA Online, players got the ability to run their own motorcycle club and sell drugs across San Andreas. Over 300 clothing items were added, alongside 8 hairstyles and a huge amount of tattoos. As an addition to the game though, it's alright. Getting booze for your clubhouse and selling drugs is about as fun as it would be in real life. But because at this point we've already seen the original heist missions and lowriders, Bikers, while a cool addition, wasn't really anything new. Today, there isn't a point to owning a motorcycle club since there's a million better ways to make money. It was weird too how for a biker DLC for GTA Online, Rockstar didn't even add real beards. To this day, all the facial hair is still a texture, which doesn't help create the illusion that every character is a different human. The Bikers DLC probably should have been launch day content. Like I said before, adding it on later just didn't make sense, and it hasn't stood the test of time nearly as well as some of the other DLC. So for that, GTA Online Bikers gets a B on the tier list. I'm sorry, Johnny K. On the 13th of December 2016, Rockstar added one of GTA Online's most significant updates, that being the Import-Export Edition, to further adventures in finance and felony. Before, businesses were used for selling cargo, but because of the Import-Export update, selling high-end vehicles was the new moneymaker, and to this day, people still grind Import-Export missions to get rich fast. With that update came a handful of new CEO and special vehicle missions to keep players occupied. Personal garages for business buildings were added as well for GTA Online users to store more of their decked-out vehicles. Import-Export missions was a huge W for Rockstar after the Mediocre Bikers update, especially because players could make an average of $300,000 per hour doing the missions. To give a comparison, the average heist split up among players would probably give you $200,000 after give or take an hour of heist setups and execution. This update really puts the Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto Online. It also added new clothes, vehicles that would work on water, and original missions for businesses. Personally, something I liked about this update is that it encouraged players to get competitive with each other. In video games, I hate private lobbies stopping people from competing and trying to commit some serious acts of terrorism on each other. That's all part of the fun online experience. Import-export missions were only possible in public lobbies, so at any point you could mess with somebody else's operation and everybody else could mess with yours, creating some serious tension during the missions. Because the Import-Export update is a serious but fun grind fest, it gets an A for shit, here we go again. In GTA 5, 2/3 of the map is countryside, which just screams desperado gun running, drug pushing mayhem. And with the gun running update, Rockstar added just that. Well, aside from the drug pushing. In the gun running DLC, players were given the ability to purchase an underground bunker for the purpose of manufacturing and selling weapons. There's of course classic resupply missions and all that public session selling stuff that Import and Export had, but upon having the bunker up and running, there would always be a chance of it getting raided, triggering a mission where you'd have to get all your stuff back. To do so, you need to disarm 3 bombs in 5 minutes and deliver the valuables back to your bunker, and if you fail to do so, you lose everything. If there's one thing I hate about Rockstar games, it's dumbing down the difficulty where if you fail enough times, you can skip to the next objective, and I absolutely adore the difficulty spike that the gun running introduced. Of course, because gun running was a gun-related update, there was a whole glob of weapon-related additions like armed vehicles, new sights, and skins, and a whole-ass mobile operations center, which was a griefer's dream come true. The variety of ways to operate your business alongside the many additions that gun running added to GTA Online makes this update another easy A on the list. Smuggler's Run released 2 months after the gun running DLC, and it's named after one of Rockstar's earliest titles for the PlayStation 2. The big seller of this update was that players could now sell illegal goods from the sky, and to do so, you'd need to buy a hangar. Because one of the hangars you could purchase to sell cargo was in the Fort Zancudo military base, you wouldn't automatically receive a wanted level anymore just by being in the area following the investment, which was a huge green checkmark for players all around. The downside is that this DLC hasn't stood the test of time too well, and even at launch wasn't that profitable compared to the alternate ways of making big bucks. For players who love aircraft, it's a great way to consistently stay above ground while making money at the same time, but overall, it's just not really worth it, and the missions themselves aren't very original either. In the single player, I loved Ron, so it is a plus that he's a main character in this update, and it introduced Charlie Reed, who's become a main character for GTA Online in recent years, but as an update, I think it's safe to put Smuggler's Run in the B tier spot. Now, about around this time, you guys are probably thinking, Justin, you are such a negative shit. Why is there an S spot on the tier list if you're not even putting anything in the S tier? And that's because I've been saving it for the gems, the beautiful, shiny updates that only come out once in a while, like the Doomsday Heist. Grand Theft Auto Online may have had absurd stunt races that contrasted the drug trading, gun running, vehicle trading, bank robbing gameplay that dominated the online experience, but nobody could have guessed that the Doomsday Heist was coming, and nobody could have possibly known how much it would change online forever. The heist itself revolves around a billionaire, Avon Hertz, and his AI companion, Clifford. When the heist starts, you help Avon plug Clifford into a supposed Russian spy network, but it's discovered halfway through that Clifford wasn't meant to stop this Russian conspiracy, and instead was being used to control the government. This DLC is flying cars, explosive action left, right, and center, and returning characters like Lester, UL Paper, and Agent 14, who by the way did a fantastic job of playing their roles once again. The DLC also had jetpacks like in 2004's San Andreas, and some miscellaneous stuff like scuba suits, tattoos, and of course the facility, which is another underground operations center. However, it's super high-end and definitely puts you in the mood for a tense, high-tech spy thriller campaign. And that's probably the best part of this update, the heist itself. Twists left and right, constantly keeping you on your toes, and Rockstar even expanded the Mount Chiliad mystery, which fans were trying to piece together since launch. More than anything, the Doomsday Heist felt like a celebration of Grand Theft Auto Online, and the franchise in general, with the returning characters, items, and it also felt like a departure from what the game originally was. Live service games that are meant to be long-term inevitably stray far off the path they started. And since the Doomsday Heist, Online never stopped evolving. Because of the big risks Rockstar took with this overwhelmingly experimental update, and don't need 4 people to do the missions and instead only need 2, this update holds up super well to this day, and the Doomsday Heist deserves an S on the tier list. The Ballad of Gay Tony was extremely well received, and today a bunch of people still go back and play through it. And in the 2018 After Hours update, Rockstar added purchasable nightclubs in GTA Online, alongside the man himself, Tony Prince. The purpose of the nightclub and why it's a good business is because you can link all your other businesses to it, and there's no resupply missions needed. It's easy passive income, and even better, the delivery vans are customizable. Another really fun addition this update brought was the Business Battle free roam events. It gives the players an actual reason to PvP in free roam. Things get super tense, and it helps your business if you manage to get a hold of the cargo. But aside from this, yeah, f this update. The GTA Online After Hours update also brought something so awful to Grand Theft Auto Online, something so heinous, so vile, that to this day, it is overwhelmingly hated by players worldwide. That's right, everybody. The f***ing presser. In a world where people need to drive super slow delivery vehicles just to scrounge together a few in-game dollars, a world where level 1 players already didn't stand a chance against higher level players, the MK2 oppressor blew every possible opportunity for balance right out of the water. It's super fast and it flies, so already targeting it is not easy. And just to put icing on the cake, it shoots missiles. It is so easy for somebody to just get on their stupid little oppressor and ruin the game for everybody because they basically hold all the power in the lobby against everybody who doesn't have one. I can't even count how many times I've been delivering something, doing a mission, and somebody is pulled up on their oppressor just to blow everything I had to ashes. Now you may be saying, well, Justin, just turn on passive mode so that there's no PvP. You don't understand. I want PvP. I think PvP is what makes multiplayer fun. If people want to have a fair gun and car shootout, I'm game. Some of my fondest Reddit Online memories was fighting off players trying to steal my trading valuables because it was fair. But because of these friggin' wankers who just do nothing and get a million kills, it makes everybody else who wants to play the game fair and square look like an absolute clown. Another bad thing about this update was that there were drip feed missions. Drip feeding is when the developers make a bunch of content for an update and only release little bits of it at a time to make it seem bigger than it is. Rockstar has continued to release their updates in a drip feed way, like Drug Wars, which we will get into later. But as for After Hours, this update gets an easy C on the tier list. There was a cool business, but there sure as hell was an oppressor MK2 as well. Arena Wars was possibly one of GTA Online's major objective flops. While there were some mediocre DLC before, like the Bikers, at least the Bikers DLC introduced a business that you could profit off of. This DLC put a paywall behind everything so steep that casual players were doomed from the start. And casual players make up most of GTA Online's player base. This update was an incredible adversary mode. It was original, and if you have a group of people or even randoms to play with, it's a big inhale of fresh air compared to the rest of the game. The problem is that the payout is so bad that nobody plays Arena War. This ambitious DLC that developers put tons of work into has been abandoned. The arena is available, but it's a ghost town. This update should have been a free business that every player got at launch. If that was the case, maybe players could actually make profit from it, but as it stands, Arena War is abandoned and possibly one of the worst ways to make money in the game. C tier, Next! On July 23rd, 2019, a big change was made to GTA Online, making the once abandoned casino a brand spanking new bright and colorful hotspot in Los Santos. However, because gambling virtual money became a feature in GTA Online, a whole bunch of countries had the casino minigames locked because of their gambling laws. China, Afghanistan, Czech Republic, South Korea, South Africa, and a lot more countries blocked the Diamond Casino update. Well, more specifically, the mini games inside of the casino. As a DLC though, it slapped. The casino is awesome, and the Wheel of Fortune is a great way to get players on to consistently give it a spin. And the update also buffed nightclubs, which was definitely needed. The campaign that the DLC introduced was good as well. It was definitely an alright campaign, but the best part of the update was definitely the casino and what it would bring in the future. As a Canadian that is not affected at all by gambling laws whatsoever, A-tier update. The Diamond Casino Heist DLC for GTA Online was such a genius addition to the game, and they released it at the perfect time, seeing as the coronavirus was right around the corner. First and foremost, Rockstar Games has received a lot of criticism in recent years because of their restricted mission design. If you step off of the narrow path Rockstar wants you to walk on to finish a mission, you will immediately be slapped in the face with a mission fail.
On to us! The alarm's been raised!
For a franchise about role-playing a criminal who breaks the rules, it sure is ironic that in GTA missions there are a lot of rules to follow. Well, in the Diamond Casino Heist, Rockstar took that criticism and changed their formula according to it. Your planned approach can go sideways at any time, but the heist can still be pulled off even if things don't go as expected, making 1, replayability infinitely more enjoyable, and 2, gives players incentive to roleplay as a true criminal and communicate with their friends, opposed to the heist update where when things go wrong you have to do it all over again. Prison Break. Aside from the heist itself, there were a lot of cool things added, like the Navy revolver in celebration of Red Dead 2's PC release, 50 collectibles that could be found by exploring the map, and a bunch of customizable outfits and vehicles like most updates. The payout for the Diamond Casino Heist is still amazing though to this day, making it stand the test of time better than most of the previous updates. And because of its fresh, open-ended approach to a previously restricting formula, the Diamond Casino Heist is another S on the tier list. After the Diamond Casino Heist update, GTA Online players were treated the exact same as Red Dead Online players for about a year, seeing no major additions to the game between Diamond Casino and the big update afterwards. GTA 5 took quite a few hits. First of all, when the PlayStation 5 was revealed, Rockstar had center stage, taking the lead with the first game reveal for the next generation console, and it ended up being GTA 5 again, turning a beloved game into a laughingstock because of how much it was milked since its release 7 years prior. Rockstar also ended up quietly shelving, as Bloomberg put it, a major content update for GTA Online, which would have been the Cops and Crooks. The Cops and Crooks update was supposed to be a bunch of arcade-like cops and robbers minigames featuring new police cars, civilian vehicles, and weapons, but unfortunately, it got cut before it could release. The tragic murder of George Floyd in 2020 led to a lot of criticism regarding the American police system. Buildings were being burned down, people were pissed, and Rockstar releasing a game mode where players would take on the role of cops killing criminals and the criminals shooting back probably would have been poor taste, so they decided to cancel the DLC. There were minor changes to GTA 3 following 9/11, like the cover art being different in the American release, so this is something Rockstar had dealt with before. And to honor George Floyd, they shut down the servers to Red Dead Online and GTA Online for a bit instead of dropping the update. So this update definitely gets a C for cut content. It does make me wonder if we'll see Cops and Crooks in GTA 6 though. It was in Grand Theft Auto 4, and seeing it was supposed to be in GTA 5, what do you guys think? The Cayo Perico heist was marketed in a very interesting way by Rockstar. Inside of GTA Online itself, construction props were found where the Music Locker Club was being built. Later on, mutilated corpses and briefcases could be found along Vespucci Beach, and the trailers themselves for the update before its official name was announced were super obscure. And outside of GTA 5, in one of the teaser trailers, there are coordinates that lead to a random street in real life, but the shape of the street is clearly the Roman numeral for 6. That was technically the very first teaser for Grand Theft Auto 6, and they probably only did that to do some damage control after the catastrophic announcement of Grand Theft Auto 5 Expanded and Enhanced. Rockstar knew they had to go big with the new update, so they ended up dropping the best update GTA Online had ever received. The Cayo Perico heist introduced an entirely new location outside of San Andreas. You infiltrate an exotic island in search of some documents and steal any valuable items you can find from drug lord El Rubio. The heist can be done in a multitude of ways like the Diamond Casino, and for the first time ever can be done completely alone. Although the Cayo Perico heist costs a ton of money to start, its payout is so good and you can do it as many times as you want afterwards. Basically, Rockstar advertised this DLC as the biggest GTA Online update ever made, and it definitely was. Even though it's been nerfed, the Cayo Perico heist was fun, original, and accessible since you didn't even need a friend to play it. This DLC is an easy S tier, from the in-game advertising to the no-life neckbeard grinding. I'm gonna be real, guys. I completely forgot this update even happened, but that doesn't mean it was a bad update. Los Santos tuners focused on races and car culture in Los Santos, but included a very cool reputation system which rewards players with new clothes, vehicle customization options, races, and street takeovers. The mini heists included with the DLC are fun as well. There's nothing really terrible to say about this update, but 3 years later, nothing memorable either. Los Santos tuners gets a B for you had to be there. Oh my god, everybody, you know, objectively, there were a lot better updates compared to what I'm going to talk about, but man, the contract fucking slapped in my opinion. What a good update. It brought back Franklin, Lamar, and Chop, and introduced some new cool characters, including Dr. Dre being the main character of the new campaign. The campaign in question was about helping Dr. Dre recover his stolen unreleased tapes. What a trip. It was super fun, and the payout was bad, to be honest. You didn't make any money from this update, but the missions you could do for Franklin are classic GTA Online side missions. It's nothing to complain about. A big bonus with this update, though, was the short trips with Franklin and Lamar, where you could team up with a friend and play as either Franklin or Lamar. Because it wasn't just two silent protagonists chilling and instead were best friends having interesting dialogue throughout the missions, it makes the whole experience a completely different, new, and comforting feeling compared to the rest of GTA Online. The payphone hit missions were assassination contracts, similar to the ones Franklin took up in the single player. Something interesting about the payphone hit missions, though, was that there would be special objectives that would add a challenge to them, but would give you a better payout if you fulfilled it. The contract isn't amazing money-wise, so big grinders may completely overlook it. But as somebody who's played the single player a million times, this update was made for me, and it was one of my favorite campaigns in GTA Online so far. Also, Rockstar gave a nod to the yee ass haircut meme, so A tier update.
Hey, what's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, f you, man. My kids up in there. I don't want your ass up in my house.
Oh, you don't hate me because your kids love me more than they love you. Maybe if you quit being so uptight and let Uncle Lamar give them some game, you'll have some harmony in your household. Nah, I just wanted to get in the hot tub, but now I don't even want to get in an old funky-ass cum bucket. F around and get pink eye. Because you's a dirty-ass B-I-E-E itch.
What?
The Criminal Enterprises DLC for GTA Online released with new content, but also a bunch of fixes to previous issues. One huge addition was that Rockstar made it so you could do cell missions in invite-only sessions. Finally, players worldwide wouldn't get all of their hard work destroyed by losers and oppressors. But speaking of oppressing losers, Rockstar nerfed the Oppressor MK2 after years, and to put the cherry on the cake, they added a brand new campaign that had the player working under the IAA as an investigator. Overall, this update brought a lot of positive changes, and is definitely deserving of an A tier or a upper B tier, considering it was kind of small. Guys, I don't like getting mad on the Just One N YouTube channel. I like to keep it a very positive space. But I have a bone to pick with the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. First off, most of it doesn't even take place in Los Santos, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's besides the point. Los Santos Drug Wars is not only the worst DLC for GTA Online that I have ever had the displeasure of playing, it is also one of the worst gaming experiences I have had in the past while. Okay, I guess I'll start with this. In recent years, there's been a trend in media for everything to be self-aware. We've all seen it in movies where the main character's like, he's right behind me, isn't he? And in a lot of video games like Borderlands, there's dialogue that comments on how ridiculous its own existence is. This phenomena is known as millennial writing, where scriptwriters seem to think that being sarcastic and meta and ironic about everything makes the show, movie, or video game more relatable and digestible, but really, it just makes everything stupid. stupid because the audience can't take it seriously, and it doesn't even take itself seriously. I saw a copy pasta a bit ago, which was a great example of this writing style, and Rockstar has some of the most incredible writers in the industry. Red Dead Redemption 2 on multiple occasions throughout my life has brought me to tears because of its story and depth. Grand Theft Auto 5's campaign is hilarious. It may not be as emotionally investing as Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's engaging because of its wacky cast of characters. But despite its whack, the characters still have intriguing motives and flaws, keeping you engaged with the story. Drug Wars just f***ing sucks, dude. I'll play a cutscene really quick. Dax, the main character of the new DLC, is crazy, out of pocket, kind of, and just hyper. But man, more than anything, he's just f***ing annoying. Trevor was crazy, out of pocket, and hyper too, but he had flaws, morals, and motives behind his actions, whether they were justified or not. Dax has no depth to him other than random loudness equals funny.
Help us get out of this and we'll cut you into the deal. F*** up these bikers and get my RV back in its Los Santos time, baby! Whoa! Get over to the roof! Show me your butthole, fellas!
He clearly cares about his team of drug dealers that you help along the way, but you never see why. At the end of the DLC, there's this dialogue between him and the silent protagonist where he's all, "Aw man, look at how far we've come," and all I can think is, thank Christ, dude, I never want to see your ass again. The characters all screaming badunkadunk is loud, random, and not funny at all. The gameplay itself is fine. The missions are fun with friends, but just like, dog. I can't even put into words how dumb this DLC is. Just listen to some of this dialogue.
Whoa! This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my fucking life!
Grand Theft Auto Drug Wars gets a Grand Theft Auto Drug Wars for Grand Theft Auto Drug Wars. I hope Rockstar never tries this carefree meta approach to writing ever again, because they're better than that. In June of 2023, Rockstar dropped the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC, which was a brand new campaign led by Charlie Reed, who was introduced in the Smuggler's Run update. You work alongside him to take down the private security force Merryweather. San Andreas Mercenaries has some really good content. The missions were good as usual, and it's pretty rare I don't enjoy a good Grand Theft Auto Online mission, but during the DLC's reign, Rockstar removed nearly 200 vehicles from the in-game car website. Because of this, San Andreas Mercenaries gets a C right next to After Hours. Right after the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer came out, Rockstar released the Chop Shop DLC for GTA Online. In this DLC, you need to buy a salvage yard to begin your Grand Theft Auto adventures, because this DLC is all about stealing high-value cars on behalf of Yusuf Amir from the Ballad of Gay Tony. To get a salvage yard, you need to spend 1.6 to nearly $3 million, which is pretty significant for newer players. You make about $1 million a week and then need to wait for the 1 week cooldown to use the Chop Shop again. As for the other new content, Rockstar added drift races, which are perfect for GTA 5's driving style. It's a great competitive mode, but like many in this game, pretty hard to find games with randoms if the mode isn't on 2 to 3 times payout. Rockstar also put animals into the GTA Online current gen console versions, and not the PC version for some reason. Animals were in single player, but for performance reasons were never in the last gen versions, but PC players can handle the performance bumps, so I don't really understand why Rockstar didn't add them. But other than that, Chop Shop is a decent business for casual players, and you can make the money back that you paid for the Chop Shop after 2 or 3 weeks. But other than that, there really isn't that much content. If PC players got Animals too, I'd probably give it a better spot, to be honest, but I believe Chop Shop deserves a B, closer to the A. Not necessarily bad, some cool stuff, but didn't make that much of a difference long term. In Red Dead Online, bounty hunting is quite possibly the most popular role players take on, so last summer Rockstar dropped the Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC for GTA Online, and it is good. You're forced to drive this egregiously slow bounty van, and if you're broke like me and resorted to buy the bail bond office in Paleto Bay, you'll be forced to drive all the way across the map and back every single mission, since for some reason most bounties are in Los Santos. You'd think for a DLC revolving around a redneck crew of bounty hunters taking down criminals, a lot of it would take place in the desert part of San Andreas, but you'd be wrong. The legendary bounties are pretty cool because there's different ways of taking them down, and some of the missions even have little boss fights, which are pretty friggin' dope, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, A legendary bounty gives you about $100,000, and there's a 1-day cooldown after catching them, so that is not a lot of money. It's pretty common knowledge that horses were cut content for GTA 5, and even just adding those would have made the DLC a lot more memorable, but as it stands, bottom dollar bounties was okay, and that's about it. Definitely B tier. Although, I do really love Jeanette as a character, and even though a lot of other players think she's annoying, I think her company during the missions is very entertaining. So, this is the full tier list, everybody. Grand Theft Auto Online has had a long run, and honestly, it's probably coming to an end soon. GTA 6 is going to be Rockstar's new moneymaker, so once that's out, I'm sure a few years later, the PS4 and Xbox One servers will shut down, updates will slowly start turning into repetitive weekly bonuses with no real new content, and GTA Online will go from a hated, dated, and overrated game mode to a misunderstood, underrated classic that was so much better than GTA Online 2. But for real, guys, what is your favorite GTA Online DLC? Make sure to leave your answer in the comments below, and I'll respond as soon as I possibly can. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and make sure to have a good one.